Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In this episode, I wanted to cover the prospects of a renewed Eritrean invasion of the Tigray region and my thoughts on the prospect of this actually occurring. So, let's first look at the Eritrean military capability. Allegedly, they are able to deploy or conscript 250,000 to 300,000 personnel, which there is universal training that goes on out in a fairly large military base. It's the Sawa facility in western Eritrea. I'll try to zoom in here real quick and attempt to find it. But it's out here in the middle of basically nowhere, where they send the Eritrean youth for basically indentured servitude. And there's been a previous video where I've shown that on the map, and I'm not going to hunt for it at this time. But what I will do is kind of zoom in and have a look at the largest Air Force base inside of Eritrea. And I would have to say that really the Eritrean bark is worse than its bite. And obviously, if the Eritrean military had the capability to remain inside of the Tigray region, given the fact that its mission of capturing key members of the Tigray leadership did not occur, then obviously, if they had the capability to stay there, they probably would still be there. But for those folks, they were driven out, and the probability of a renewed invasion, I would say, is something that is going to be very, very, very tough for the Eritrean military to do at this point. We know that Isaias Afwerki is, for all intents and purposes, a cheapskate. And I know that sounds kind of funny and ridiculous, but the fact of the matter is he's fairly prudent when it comes to the economics of the Eritrean state, and spending vast sums of money to deploy forces and equipment just to have those assets destroyed probably is something that he is not going to want to do. And again, you can zoom in here and just see the ability, and this is relative to the Tigray Eritrean border. It's a very, very rugged landscape, very tough to supply and keep military units supplied in this area. And obviously, the center of power for the Eritrean state is up here in Asmara. And if we zoom into the main Air Force base located in Asmara, and we'll look at the tarmac and the aircraft that are stationed there, it's not a large Air Force by any stretch of the imagination. Smaller than the Ethiopian Air Force. This is basically it when it comes to Air Force bases. This is the best they have, and as you can see here, you can see two Su-27s. Are they functional? Hard to say at this point. You look here also, we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MiG-29s. We have a training jet there, and then these look to be Mi-24 Hind aircraft. But that's it. That is the extent of the Eritrean Air Force. You have some slow mover, some prop aircraft here as well that could probably use to drop some bombs. But that is really it. And we've also heard that Russia provides the pilots, or has provided pilots. Belarus, Ukraine has provided pilots to fly these aircraft, and we're unsure if there are actually pilots there flying these aircraft at this time. And as a matter of fact, back during the 2000 border war between Eritrea and Ethiopia, there were cases, or reported cases, in which Russian pilots, Ukrainian pilots, were actually flying against each other as the Russians had pilots in Ethiopia, and the Russians had pilots in mercenary pilots in Eritrea. So again, not a lot of capability in terms of deploying fast-moving combat jets. None of these jets have precision guided attack capability. So again, very rudimentary force. If we look over here, we can see the government compound located inside of Eritrea, and this is where the despotic leader Isaias Afwerki lives. And I believe it's this building right here. So imagine just a B-2 flying over and dropping a 2,000-pound JDAM there and there. I think a lot of problems would be solved for the Eritrean people. Not to say that's going to happen, of course. But this is the government compound where he lives secured. You can see it's a double-walled compound. We got a line of wall here, and then another wall here as well. I imagine security forces monitor this buffer zone. You can see the main entrance over here. You come in this way, and then obviously this is the entry point to the main government complex for the Eritrean state. So not really a big deal. Not a lot of wealth, obviously. And again, I believe at some point we could see the Tigray region, the Tigrayan military, at some point actually re-engage the Eritrean military at some point. And again, I believe you kick in the door here, and this whole thing would fall apart. Meaning the Eritrean government, the Eritrean state. It utilizes a lot of propaganda in the form of boasting of its military capability, but it has not really experienced a significant amount of success in its military history. Especially now, we believe that the morale is very low for a lot of these forces that have been conscripted into the Eritrean military. And again, the likelihood that a motivated force would move south or move into the Tigray region and have the success of what occurred early in or late in 2020 or late 2021 is probably unlikely given the size of the mobilization efforts that have occurred inside of the Tigray region. Probably in all likelihood, if we did see a Eritrean invasion of the Tigray region, I don't think they would get too far past Adigrat or even take the city of Adigrat at this point, given the mobilization that has taken place. But we'll continue to and monitor the situation and keep everybody abreast of what is occurring. But again, I really believe the Eritrean bark is much worse than its bite, and the likelihood of a reinvasion of the Tigray region, while possible, I believe it's unlikely and would not occur at this point, given the level of mobilization and given the lack of success that the Eritrean army experienced in its past endeavors inside of the Tigray region. We'll continue to report and update as warrant. Have a good day, everybody.